Hey everybody. Listen, I wanted to come on and talk to you about curating trichology content. Um, being a new trichologist, someone that is transferring or transitioning from the regular or the basic salon services to a more clinical, kind of atmosphere can be kind of nerve-wracking, right? So you always have to decide what to say. Okay, so I want to say thank you so much for joining me. If you're catching the replay, hey girl, hey, how you doing? All right, and so listen, we're talking about curating trichology content. Okay, and so basically the internet streets, right? They tend to be very crowded, right? And so it seems like once you decide to start talking about something, everybody's talking about it. And if you are like how I was, you kind of felt like, I think I better start over. Okay, so basically we're talking about trichology content, creating or curating trichology content. And so basically, I want to get on because I know that it can be kind of nerve-wracking when it comes to getting your content together, deciding what to say, deciding what to post, when to post, how to post for your content. And so I know that, and I remember being a brand new trichologist, and although I knew how to post or how to market information for my regular salon, I did not know what to do, and I couldn't find something that was like a more easy way for me to do trichology content. And so it's almost like when you buy a new car. When you buy a new car, whether it's brand new or it's new as in it's new to you, it seems like everybody has that car. And not only does everybody have the car, everybody has that color, everybody has that year, everybody has that make and model. Good morning, Vanessa. And so when you look at trichology, it's like as soon as you became interested, everybody was a trichologist. And you're like, oh my God, the internet streets are crowded, it's saturated. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. And the thing is, you want to be relevant. You don't want to be too deep because people are being introduced to you newly as a new trichologist. And so you want to be able to say things in layman's terms. So when I look at curation, right? When I look at what is content curation, it is simply you grabbing information that you are going to, it may be something that is repurposed, it may be something that you came up with yourself, that you are going to detail and tailor to get this information out, whatever information it is, out to your clients. Right? So you want to, educate them on something or share something or set a mood or tell a story for the week or tell a story for the day, right? So that's you just gathering information. And so you kind of you're trying to figure out, well, where do I get this information from? I often hear people say, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to post. What am I doing? When you look at some of our pages, we are completely hairstyling. That's where we came from. Good morning, Mika. That's where we came from. And so, it's all hairstyling. It's, this weave and this relaxer and this color and this technique, right? Which is all fine and good. But now it's like, what is an easy way to switch? So let me tell you what I did. When I first started, I decided I'm somebody else. I'm new. And I'm brand new. And I know that you see Maisha, but this is not regular Maisha. And you know what I did? Deleted all my posts. I had like 15 to 1,600 posts. And I deleted all of them because I thought I had to start over. Instead of doing something else, which I'm going to help you with. Then what I realized I did was I was overkill trichology. And so this is not going to work in your best interest if you're still doing hair and you want to still get new hairstyling clients. But If you want to phase out your hairstyling clients and really become really heavy or solely trichology, then it might not mean much to you. So the place where I made the mistake was that I erased every single one of my posts. And if I would have looked at them through a different lens, as it relates to trichology, I could have flipped the caption and really started talking about hair growth, hair restoration, healthy hair, healthy scalp. But I didn't know that. There was no one to tell me, listen, don't throw all your stuff away. Look at what you have so that you can repurpose it. That's part of content curation. And guess what? You don't have to get it from anyone else. That style is your style. That weave install is yours. That product is absolutely yours. There are products that you are using that you can add essential oils to. There are products that you are using that if you use them a different way or put them under aquatic mister, it can become transformed into another product, right? So it has different types of uses. And so when you look at curated trichology content, you really have to look at where you're going to get this content from. Well, one of the places you're going to get it from is your pain. You're going to get it from your pain. So just like any other person curating content, if you have maybe a physical ailment or you have been hurt in an area, if you can flip it, you can use it. Case in point, say you have a really bad case of carpal tunnel because you're a stylist. Carpal tunnel is a chronic disease. And so if you haven't gotten the surgery or you're wearing the brace or you're not yet wearing the brace and you don't know what to do, you understand that extreme pain is going to cause a client to lose hair because the pain is interrupting the growth cycle, right? Also, if there's inflammation and all those different things, right? And so most chronic illnesses will interrupt the growth cycle. So if you are somebody who is treating hair loss, but you are working through the pain of this illness, it gives a client, an everyday client, something to look at and say, wow, I want her to help me because she understands my pain, right? So you want to look at your pain. You also want to look at life circumstances. For example, are you a mom with, of course you're a mom with kids, but do you have more than one child, right? Do you have one child? So if you're a woman with children and you think about all the things that children need and you think about the stress that that may be incurred, especially at certain times of the year, then that's something that you want to, I don't want to say capitalize, but that's something that you want to share with your clients, because there are people that are under a lot of stress mentally, psychologically, where they don't have the opportunity to get a break. Because if you're mommy 24/7, 365 or 367. Okay. So when you look at that, you're like, okay, how can this, what I'm living right now, help my client? Well, if you're a mom, you don't really have time for yourself a lot of times, especially depending on the age range, right? So then there's like different stresses depending on the time of the year, right? Is it time for back to school? Is it time for Christmas? Is it time for, Easter, the Easter speech or whatever, right? So you look at that and then you can turn it into content, talking about stress, talking about different ways that you can reduce stress and how that helps with your hair growth, how that helps, how doing different things as far as self-care and maintenance is concerned when it comes to being at home, being a mom, and still balancing out, being that great mom that you are and keeping your hair in your scalp, right? So that's another thing. Another thing that you want to talk about is what you're eating. So when you look at menus that you have to make. When you look at, okay, what am I cooking today? Am I running out to buy something because I just don't have time? Then you look at the fact that, okay, there are certain types of foods that are healthy, or that are healthy for hair growth, that are important to hair growth. And if that be the case, that's something that you can talk about. So you're talking about, listen, I know that you're on the go. I know that you're always on the run. And when you come home, you have to think of something that is quick, that is fast, and that is simple, that you can provide to your children and to yourself to eat, that is healthy, that's going to sustain healthy hair growth, or even a healthy lifestyle. And so then you begin to break down what's in your salad, right? So free game, free game. You can do a series for a whole entire week. What's in your salad? So you take a picture of a salad, right? A really pretty salad, and you break down everything that's in that salad and let them know what those things do, to help hair growth, or to stop DHT. So there's a DHT blocker in there. If it is a baby spinach salad, or it has kale in it, then you know that those dark leafy greens are going to be full of zinc, and that zinc is going to be a natural DHT blocker. You're going to understand that if there's almonds in it, or if there's strawberries in it, or if there's raspberries or cranberries in it, or anything like that, you're able to trace it back to what does it do for hair growth or hair loss. So there's antioxidants in it. There's antioxidants in the little tangerine pieces. There's protein in the walnuts. You see what I'm saying? So you break it down, and by the time you get to the end of the week, people are inspired to eat well. They're inspired by the colorfulness. Is that a word, child? Colorfulness of your page. And then also, they have some really good information about hair growth. So when you look at curating content, it's all around. It's all around. There's nothing that you cannot use. If it is reducing stress, if it is eating right, if it is getting enough sleep, whatever it is, you have plenty to talk about. And let's go back to repurposing your content that you use in the salon. You want to talk about the healthy way to relax. You want to talk about if you are now against relaxers. I don't know, maybe you like, child, I done changed my life and I don't do relaxers. So then you want to start talking about, okay, so if I posted this, you'll say, a few months ago, I was doing relaxers, right? You'll say, a few months ago, I was doing relaxers, and due to the studying that I've done, I have decided that I'm no longer providing relaxers. Providing relaxers for me was a point of contention because it caused acceleration of CCCA in my clients. So now they leaning in like, tell me more. And so then you start talking about the gene that is in African Americans that can be accelerated due to improper chemical use, improper heat, tension, that causes scarring and causes a client to lose hair. Right? Or maybe you're still doing styling and you still offer relaxers, but you do it in a way that is more healthy so that you can keep the client's hair on their head. You may talk about in relation to relaxer, what if the client still needs a relaxer? It's not your favorite thing to do, but however, you want to talk about the treatments that you have after you've done the relaxer so that the hair stays strong and so that you're fortifying the hair. So there's always ways to curate content. So I wrote some notes. I got some notes here. So that's why I'm going to be looking down, right? Okay, so basically, when you look at the content and curating the content, that's the cute stuff. That's the cute pictures, that's you behind the scenes and all that other stuff. But when you think about it, how do you do this? You can't be afraid to study. That's how you know what to say. You literally can come on screen with me right now, throw anything at me, and I'm about to flip it. Have you ever seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding? So in My Big Fat Greek Wedding, if you've ever seen it, or if you have not seen it, the father, he relates everything to Greek. So he says, you give me a word, any word you give me, I'm gonna tell you how the root word is Greek. And so I do the same thing. So like he'll say, if you say orange, he said orange, orangelos. Let's just say it's orangelos. He said, which is the Greek word, orangados. Therefore, the Greek word is actually the root word is Greek. Same thing. I do that with trichology. If you tell me you got a headache, you tell me you have migraines, I'm going to hook it back to hair loss. So when you study, you have to look at it through that lens, right? So researching, studying, and digging, going past what is the normal, mundane, what everybody else is posting. Because people are now regurgitating information. And so now you're like, I don't know what to say. First of all, you got to say something. You have got to say something. You look at your Instagram accounts, and some of us have not posted since 2019. Some of us, maybe not that extreme, but we have not posted it since March. We have not posted. If we have posted, we post 17 times in one day, and then we don't see you again for another 3 and 4 weeks. And so the consistency is not there. And so when you look at being a wife or being a mother or being an entrepreneur, being a pet owner or a human for that matter, you are able to get your information. So this is something that I do, and I want to share the strategy with you. Okay, so the first thing I do is get a topic of study. I don't care if I'm riding in the car and I'm just looking around and I'll see something. I'll see a bad wig, or I'll see a pretty flower with a lot of dirt around it, or I'll see, water, pouring out of a fire hydrant, right? And so what you do is you get a topic of study. The next thing you do is you just do a brain dump or a mass gathering of information. Any information you can get on it, because then you're going to be able to weed out what you don't need. The next thing you do is set a time a day, right? Because everybody says, I don't have time. How do you have time? How do you have time to do all that stuff? You got 4 kids, you got a husband, you got a business, you got 2 locations, you got this and that. How do you have time? Well, let me tell you, I set a time a day, but not only do I set a time of day, I set a 15-minute timer. If I can't get this information in 15 minutes, it don't need to be got, because I got dinner to cook, right? So you look at the fact that you have gathered all this information from here and there. Thanks for the love. From here and there. And then once you get the information, when you sit down for your 15 minutes, it ends up being a long time where you literally can say, I don't want to talk about that, but I want to talk about this. I don't want to say that, but I want to say this. This will be really good. You know what? I should really press in right here and really talk about this, because this can go into another thing. And then you start to see, if I talk about this actually goes with a product or a service that I'm offering in the clinic. And so now I'm able to have a link to a service when I post, right? So then what you do is you take note. You take note of everything you have. You take down notes while you're doing that whole brain dump thing, and then you look up words. That's part of studying. Look up the words while you're reading, right? You look at things, find other ways to say it, because I can say the cuticle of your hair is open, but if I say the squama, you're going to be like, the what? But you won't look it up and understand that it's the same thing, right? Okay, so you want to look up words. And then after that, that's it. I mean, it takes a little longer, but what we understand, what we begin to understand is that if I can understand it at a deeper level, when I break it down to layman's terms, guess what? I know what I'm saying. Even though I'm breaking it down so that you can understand it, I'm also able to talk to other trichologists on a level where, we're challenging each other. So you want to really look at when you are curating trichology information, that it is easy. Number one, it's easy. It's easy. It is everywhere. You don't have to say what everybody else is saying, but then at the same time, you can say what everybody else is saying. Why? Because you have your own tone. You have your own outlook. You have your own insight on it, right? So you don't have to regurgitate information, but you're able to say it. Like, curating content is not new, right? But because I said trichology content curation, hey lady, then that makes a difference, right? Because you can curate content, but content for trichologists is different from content for maybe the regular stylist, or maybe for a chef, or maybe for a shoe salesman, right? So then that sets me apart. And now when I get into what I'm trying to do, I know that I don't have to say any and everything. We can look at the same thing, and I can relegate that information to being a trichologist. Remember Teddy Riley and Babyface? And they had their little thing, right? And Teddy Riley did the most, right? And then Babyface, he just played his songs from his phone, right? Okay. So some people that do something else are gonna see that in a different way. But if I was going to translate that into trichology, then I'm going to say, there are so many people that are adding so many products to their healthy hair regimen that it actually has an adverse effect, and it clogs the follicles. Be like Babyface and keep it simple. Use only one product, or use only one product line. Right? If I was going to go deeper and I'm talking to trichologists, then I would say there are so many trichologists that feel like they have to do everything, or they have to be everything to everybody when it comes to hair restoration. But be like Babyface. Pick a lane, stay in that lane, and keep it simple. Right? So when you look at content curation, it's the same exact thing when you look at doing it for trichology. Whether it is sitting in a chair, whether it's good morning, whether it is what you're going to eat, how you're taking care of your kids. But what you have to do is decide what to say. What do you want to say? What are you saying? Are you saying it enough? Are you saying so much on one day and then we never see you again? Are you not saying anything at all? And so being a new trichologist, or someone who has decided that, you know what, I had this piece of paper for a while and now I'm going to go forward with it. It is such a big deal in transition, going from being that regular stylist to being a trichologist, or being that regular stylist that has a trichological influence. And so when you think about those things, you're thinking about the fact that, oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say. I'm not really sure. And so because of that, you have to look at there's so many different things, right? But the first thing you want to do is focus. This is the third thing that I said is the first thing. Did y'all catch that? Because I'm always talking about the first thing, because all of it's the first thing, okay? But you really want to look at the fact that you have to have a message. And you can change your message as many times as you want. But what's your message going to be today? What's your message going to be this week? Do you have a theme for the month? These things are going to help you. Pick a theme for the month. What am I going to talk about this month? This month, I'm talking about keeping it light. So everything I talk about this month is going to be about keeping it light. I'm talking about eating light. I'm talking about sleeping light. I'm talking about light hairstyles. I'm talking about light products to put on the scalp. I'm keeping it light. And then guess what I'm doing, because I'm a trichologist? I'm then going to slide in light therapy, low laser lighting therapy, or photodynamic therapy, because I'm keeping it light. So you can come in for the red light, you can come in for the blue light, you can come in for the amber light, because we keeping it light. You see what I'm saying? So you're able to flip these things around, and that's going to be really good. I'm going to have a free webinar on transitions where we really break down this stuff. But I really wanted to talk to y'all today because I want you to decide what to say. Decide what to say. Keep it consistent. If you don't want to go live 3 times a day, at least go once. If you don't want to post 3 times a day, at least go once, but do it every day. And just, remember, in content curation, it could be anything. You say who, you say when, you say how much. You make the decision. Nobody makes a decision for you. You don't have to be like anybody else. You don't have to say anything to anybody else, right? But what you will do is look at different things in life. If you can see a plant growing out of the ground, right? Not for the sake of the dirt, but for saying that if you have a healthy scalp, you can grow healthy hair, just like a plant grows out healthy because of the richness of the soil, then you have content. So people are like, wait a minute, why is she posting these pretty flowers? But when they read your caption, they understand. And so now you're going on and on and on. Okay? So that's all I wanted to share with you. I hope I helped you today. Thank you to everybody that joined the class last night. Look out for the free webinar. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, that'll be it. I don't know who's not in the round 2 of case studies, but it is going to be live next Thursday. That'll be our first debate. So any of you that are in it, if you have anything great to say, go ahead and let them know how you enjoy case studies and what you've learned from case studies. I would really appreciate it. All right, then. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Happy hair growing. Oh, and if you have questions about this topic, go ahead and drop them at the bottom of the video, and I'll make sure I come back and answer. All right.